All right, guys, so we are here and we are back on another one. And they had me chasing my tail until lo and behold, we discovered all of this goodness inside of a solenoid valve. And this is the subject right here. He had all manner of this goodness stuffed inside of. How did it get there? Well, it didn't happen overnight. It actually took years and years of building up. So the original call was that this switch was not functional. And I believe only because this manufacturer actually chose to use aluminum wiring instead of copper, and it is always breaking and cracking because the operators get a little bit heavy-handed and they crank on the switch, as you can see right here in this example with these twisted wires wrapped around this end of these contact blocks. So I need to go ahead and set that back. But when I set that back, it puts the actual switching position upside down. If we were in China on the other side of the world, that might work. But since we're in North America, we need to get this right side up. So in order to get that set right back where it needs to be, I'm gonna use the most offensive tool on the internet, the Roe V Wade Special. And don't get mad at me, because that's what the kit is called. I have the switch back in its proper position. I'm gonna use the tool to pop the contact block off. A little pokey here, a little pokey there, and voila, she is off. Now that I have the contact block in the proper position, I'm gonna wanna rotate the actual switch. There she be. Okay, so now that I rotated the switch, I tamped down on the actual lock. Now it's time to reapply our contact block. Close the house and test her operation. She's looking good now. So what originally threw me off is that I believed the switch wasn't working and all the wires were still intact. So instead of being a fortune teller and foreseeing the future, I still believed that the problem was in the electrical contact and not that the actual solenoid was full of this, because the symptom was that when you turned the switch, there was no air pressure. So I really quickly pulled up all the drawings and I started highlighting. Probably the best tool for troubleshooting. Everything involved in this solenoid circuit. So right here we have PLC locations, and this is PLC 3801, and it has all the function that's involved with that card and the other card. So this first location that's highlighted right here is basically these control podiums. And as you can see from the drawing, there is two control podiums, this one and that one. So it's even more things that could go wrong. And by looking at this drawing's logic, you notice that this is a 24-volt DC logic input card. So that means that anything you do with these buttons or switches is putting an input into that PLC card. And this drawing right here is the logic relay output card. That means anything you do with those buttons is putting a signal out to the load. In, out. So the actual function of the solenoids that I was working on is called the test air. And as you can see by doing a little bit of reading, I found test air high at load, test air low at load. So I knew I was in the right place. So right away I started looking at the selector switch and I paid attention to the PLC addressing and terminations. Rack 0, slot 10, terminal B1 and terminal B2. And those two were on the inputs. We're only dealing with 24 volts DC, so no need to fear, it's not gonna hurt you. But if you get it wrong, you can really mess up some other devices. And these were the names that I was looking for on the output card. Arm 1, high air, Arm 1, low gas. That is the high and the low pressure air outlets that I'm looking for that those switches control. So I went and tested the output on these two terminals right here. Actually go to these solenoids. And after testing and finding out that everything was operational and testing out with my meter, I was a little bit confused. And then I said, well, it must be a mechanical issue. So that brings me to this page. I had to physically test the air going in and air coming out of those solenoids. And that's when I FAFO. I ended up having about an hour's worth of cleaning on these solenoids in order to get all this buildup and gunk out of the air fittings. But basically, this is just a video on how to step-by-step troubleshoot. A lot of times when you're troubleshooting in industrial, it's going to be a blurry mix between a mechanical and electrical. So if you're ever in a bind, you might as well grab these tools and let them help you. And if you don't have them available, then you better really know what you're doing. So until the next time, stay safe out there.